Hey everyone, welcome back to TBM Sports. Let's talk about it. Week 13 in the NFL. We're looking to close it out here on Sunday. We had 3 games on Thanksgiving. Hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. And the Eagles, not go Birds, not on Friday. The Black Friday game against the Bears was one that I think left a lot of bettors and backers of Jalen Hurts and company, Saquon, just really with some question marks, okay? But we're not going to talk about the game that happened on Friday. We're going to talk about the games on Sunday. I'll give you guys my 3 best bets. We're going to break down the entire card and some leans along the way with props, all that good stuff. So if you guys are new to the channel, though, awesome. Hit that like button. Please subscribe. Join us here at TBM Sports, completely free, okay? And I do want to thank the people that are still around. I noticed that it's funny, this phenomenon, as the year goes on, views go down. So I just hope that you guys are maintaining bankroll strategies. And this is this was a marathon, right? This is a lot of carrying on, I should say, with family, friends. And we did it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for a lot of people closing out the week on Monday Night Football, which will be an exciting game that I will break down in a future video. But it's a marathon. You got to have a lot of discipline, okay? NBA, NHL, college basketball, invitationals, a galore, and then also the college football has just been insane, okay? It's been an insane time to be a sports bettor, and you gotta love it, okay? You gotta love it. So let's talk about it. Let's get into the card as we close out week 13, okay, guys? And this is where we're gonna have a little shorter video due to the fact that there are less games because of the aforementioned schedule on Thursday and Friday. Cardinals and Bucks, all right? Got to lean there towards the Arizona Cardinals. Don't love it. I also kind of like the totals going over here in this spot. Tampa Bay will be out a lot of players, okay? We still have a lot of question marks on that offensive line. Will Hernandez remains out for the Cardinals as well. They have some questionable tags, and I think that when we talk about the big storyline, Tampa Bay is missing a lot of players on defense, right? A lot of players are banged up, and Baker with that shoulder, you just really don't know what you're going to get, but he's a warrior. Always rooting for Baker to have success. Former Browns fan, so I will tell you guys that this dude will show up and give you his 100%, even if he is not fully 100% healthy, okay? But I think that the storyline here in this game, and Arizona has themselves a hell of a quarterback question, okay? You're not going to win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray. It's not going to happen. The ultimate situation that you never want to be in the NFL as an NFL franchise is middle of the pack. You never want to be in that purgatory, if you will, and just they got to get rid of them, okay? Jacoby Brissett's having just as much success for the Cardinals, and that's something where you look into this game against Baker and company. I do think there is still a chance that Baker does play, okay? I think it's a possibility. Too many questionables, though. 44.5, don't love it. I would lean towards Arizona. You can actually find a 4 in the market. Props in this game, DeMarcado is out, okay? But I think that Jacoby Brissett, he chucks the rock, okay? So the usual suspects will benefit, okay? We talk about McBride. He's going to ball out. You're not going to have any weather concerns down there in Tampa. Chris Godwin's still in the men. If Baker is playing or not playing, has kind of the, I guess you would say, direct fallout for a lot of those players to have success. So as I'm making this video, we're going to stay away from that. The one thing that I will tell you guys, though, in this game, the player that just definitely does stand out to me, and I kind of missed on him last week, but if you are unfamiliar with Sean Tucker, okay, plus 220 to score a touchdown, that is some insane value for that running back for me, and that's kind of where I would lean towards in a prop perspective. I probably will have him featured in some form or fashion in one of my touchdown lottery tickets. Just got to have him, plus 220 for a lot of volume and obviously those goal line situations, but lean Cardinals plus 3.5. And the total is something I would look to attack, but not with Baker and the questionable injuries that we have to go off of. Next game, Texans and Colts. I do like this game a little bit. CJ Stroud back off of concussion protocol going against a Daniel Jones that will be starting for the Colts, and they are fresh off of a loss to the horrific ending that was there in Kansas City that the Colts fell victim to Patrick Mahomes and company. But this is a game where, guys, I really have a strong feel on this one. It's ugly. It's going to be a very low-scoring game, and I've seen a lot of people kind of looking into this Daniel Jones situation from an injury perspective, okay? It's something with his leg. it's going to be hard to play on. And one of his thing that does give him some life is his mobility. Okay, it's not necessarily the mobility that we look for when he was with the Giants, and he could have 80 yards on the ground. But still, this is going to be a defense that I don't want to be at the bottom of the pile on if there is a situation like that with his leg. So I just like the Texans here. Okay, they're getting healthier, and if you are watching football and at face value, we're talking about the best team defensively in the NFL. It's a scary front to go against. Okay. We talk a lot about Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, but collectively, the Houston Texans just have a vicious style of defense that they play, okay? And I just think that when we talk about the Texans here on the road, 6-5, going against the Colts off a loss, as long as they kind of keep, Josh Downs, Pittman, and the likes of Jonathan Taylor in check, I think we could get a very murky Daniel Jones performance. And if you're going to give me 3.5, that's a lot of value. I think Texans are actually live here on the money line. Lower scoring game, 44.5 is that total. But I do like the Houston Texans on the road. Grab that plus 3.5 in this spot. Okay, that will be my first official best bet. Saints and the Dolphins, we're going to stay away from that one. Okay, that's basically one of those games where the Saints have to go on the road a little bit south, down to South Beach, as they do play the Miami Dolphins. 4-7 on the season. Not too much to love about the Saints. I think that when we talk about some of their receivers, there are angles in that regard. But 2-9, I think they're going to be starting to wave that white flag, getting into tank mode. And the Dolphins, I'm not comfortable laying 5.5. So this will be a bet that I stay away from in this contest. And this will be a pass on the card. Jags and Titans, kind of like the over 41.5 here in this spot. The Jaguars will be a very I guess you'd say prominent teaser leg. I think very public here, taking the Jaguars down to a pick'em. 7-4 on the year, so tip of the cap to Trevor Lawrence and company after kind of rebounding nicely. They got a nice little club down there. Playing the Titans, I think Cam Ward watching, and this is going to be the take of the year, but this is kind of not going to go full, I guess you'd say full tin hat, as we've seen a lot of these ESPN former players, analysts talk about the Shador situation up in Cleveland. But just watching at face value, Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, ungodly waste of a number 1 overall pick on Cam Ward. When you talk about you could add Shador Sanders in the 5th round, just can't get down with that one. And I think there will be some general manager positions opening up down there in Nashville. Okay. But for me, guys, I do look at this as a potential higher scoring affair. The Titans have been kind of opportunistic in scoring, not so much in the regards that I do want to talk about, them just blowing scores out of the water, but still Tennessee, they did put up 24 against Seattle. They're moving the football. Even 13 against Houston, I think, is a very reputable. 20 against the Chargers, and I think that as long as they score 14, 17 points here in this game, this has potential to go over 41.5. I lend towards that, and if the Jaguars are playing out in front, commanding that 6.5 point spread as favorites, I think that you do have to make the argument for Cam Ward, his passing attempts. Okay, we've targeted that in the past. Cam Ward's passing attempts, I think that if you look into that 33.5 number, that is a bet that I would firmly go over in the prop market. But there's a lot of Jags players that I do like their props. You could talk about ETN. You can talk about Tootin. Just one of those guys, if not both of them, will find the end zone, in my personal opinion. And as always, Trevor Lawrence is live to get those quarterback powers off the zone reads and design runs inside the 5. So Jags, those are the players that I would target touchdowns. And the best prop I would give you would be Cam Ward over his passing attempts. And the over would be a lean. I don't like the Jags 6.5 unless you're going to use them in a teaser leg. Falcons and Jets. I think the Falcons are live here, minus 140, minus 2.5 favorites on the spread. The Jets are just completely in some kind of mode, right? There's about 4 or 5 teams in the NFL that they're just starting to wave those white flags. And I think this is going to be one of those games where very evident that I think that the Jets will kind of not show up for this one. No movement there for the lines, kind of interesting. But I think that as you do look at it, the Falcons sneakily 4-7 there in the NFC South. Okay. So I think they will be kind of fired up, a little bit competitive. I'm not going to ever. I think there will never be a time where I take any money down on Kirk Cousins for the history or his duration of his remainder of his career. So this is a pass for me. However, I do think this is kind of a sneaky spot if you do like the Falcons. No play for me. Rams and Panthers. For my money, the Los Angeles Rams are the best team in the NFL. Kind of hoping that is the case. I have a lot of futures liability. Got some Rams Chiefs and Rams Broncos exactas for the Super Bowl. I have a lot of futures kind of within the Rams winning the NFC and making the Super Bowl. And at the value, I did get it on for my money in the eye test and the numbers. Number one power ranked team in the NFL is the Los Angeles Rams. So that's kind of where they are deserving of a 10.5-point favorite spot here against the Carolina Panthers. Okay, so for me, guys, that's where I'm at. It's hard to bet against Stafford and company. The props in this game that I do favor, just call it what it is. Devonta Adams is just absolutely insane right now, kind of taking that lion's share of the goal line work away from Puka Nacua. Kyron Williams, he'll find the end zone on the ground. That's a pretty much guaranteed conclusion. So I do like those two guys to find the end zone. 10.5 though for the Rams with a lower total, 45.5. Kind of interesting number here, but I do think the Rams roll, and I would actually even lay this up to 10. I'm not going to go over that 10.5, but if you can find 9.5s or flat 10s in the market, that's where I kind of see this one playing out. I do like the Rams on the road here in the spot, looking to go 10-2. No official play. 49ers in Cleveland. This will be very interesting. Okay, Shedeur probably playing in his coldest game of his lifetime. Okay, it's going to be windy. It's going to be kind of that crappy on the lake weather there in Cleveland, and this is kind of an interesting in some form or fashion. If you guys aren't local to the area, it's almost a home game for the 49ers. If anybody's familiar with the DeBartolo family, that and the ownership and the 49ers executives, they're from basically the Youngstown area, and that's where you're going to see this in Northeast Ohio. It's a lot of 49ers fans, so it's not, I don't want to say a home game, but this is their home away from home here on the eastern side of the country, away from San Francisco, and this is going to be very interesting to see this game play out. Brock Purdy's back. He looked absolutely atrocious. It's going to be cold. It's going to be checkdowns to Kittle. It's going to be a lot of McCaffrey up the middle, a lot of Brian Robinson getting a share of that workload in the backfield. But I do think the Browns kind of sneaky here. We've seen this number fall a lot, and the Browns plus 4.5 in a lower total, 35.5, which it is public, it's professional. All the money is on the under. 42.5 was that opening number. We're not going to chase it in that regard. However, I do like a bet here in my first official play. We're going to take the team total for the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, we're going to take that under 21.5 and under 21.5 at minus 120. That is my best bet for this game. My second play of the day, taking San Francisco under 21.5. I think we get a game where the 49ers might win 20-9, 20-12, 12-17, something along those lines. I just don't think this is a game that will be played above 35 points. I just don't see it with Shedeur, and I think the 49ers, they're going to get a lead. They're going to want to run the ball and just get the hell out of Dodge and back home. So I do think this one will be lower scoring. Okay. Next bet we will talk about the Vikings and the Seahawks. Yeah, it's pretty much right there in front of us, guys. The number is deserving. Above 10 points is where I would have this game handicapped. Not going to back the Vikings. J.J. McCarthy going against the Seattle front. Can't do it. Sam Darnold does get to play against his former club. Lower total with a big point spread. Two things I stay away from. The one thing I'll tell you guys is Jackson Smith and Jigba, for my money, is the number one receiver in the NFL. Look for him to go off. We've been riding him week in, week out. I look for that to continue. So JSN over his propage will be one that I do firmly believe in as well. Going down the board a little bit, Raiders and Chargers. I think this is an interesting kind of spot here for the dog. The Vegas team plus 10, if you want to find 10.5, so you can play that. I think the Raiders do keep this one competitive, going against a Chargers team 7-4 that they have a lot of question marks right now. And I think that is as bad as the Raiders are, it's a lot of points for the Chargers to lay, especially in a 40-point total. So I have a lean towards the Raiders in an ugly, ugly game, but no official bet. Okay. Next one we're going to talk about, and this will be the last game on this breakdown, as we will have separate videos for Sunday night and Monday Night Football, but the Bills and Mike Tomlin at home for the Steelers, as the Steelers are +3.5 dogs in their home ballpark. And I think that when we talk about it, the numbers speak for themselves. Mike Tomlin as a dog at home, gotta love it. Regardless of their quarterback situation, it's going to be a cold game. They will be able to handle, I think, a lot of the Bills' successes that they do find offensively. And the Bills, they're going to have a lot of interesting moments here in this game, missing their bookends. I think both tackles are out for this spot. I just don't know how much success Buffalo's going to have in Pittsburgh. So give me Pittsburgh as my last official best bet, +3.5 on this game for the Steelers. That will be my last play of the day. Okay, guys, quick recap. Appreciate you all tuning in. I'll get you out of here and on to your weekend. Enjoy it, and make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe down below. The 3 best bets that we are rocking with, taking the Texans +3.5, San Francisco under 21.5 team total, and I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers +3.5 at home against the Bills. Okay, so those are my 3 plays, guys. Appreciate it. Good luck out there. Let's cash some tickets, and we'll see you all tomorrow talking Monday Night Football. Cheers.